Hello everybody. Today I want to follow advice of my mechanic, and he advised me to periodically check all the fluids in my car. And the reason for that is because, as you know, there's a few leaks that's happening on the bottom, and one of those leaks involved the main seal, and then the drive shaft seal, and then also I had a coolant leak that was actually inside cylinder number 1. So basically what my mechanic told me is, just keep an eye on it. If you see tremendous amount of fluid leaking, love that keypad, by the way, said that means bad. But because I wasn't ready to leave in my car for a few days, I obviously want to make sure that I am following his advice and checking all the fluids, if for nothing else, just to make sure that nothing is gushing out, because obviously I cannot afford to not have this car, and I definitely don't want to get it to the point of where I have to get it towed. So also, as part of this whole exercise for myself, I want to also show you where all the liquids and all the fluids are in here. I know it's nothing new for any of you guys, the tOWNcAR or tOWNcAR owners, or actually most car owners and drivers. But I also know that there is a small number of folks who watch my channel. They don't have their driver's license yet. They don't drive yet. They dream of, either due to age or due to finances, or could be both, to own a car, and this car in particular. But it's also would be good for a couple of them to know kind of what all the fluids are, where are they, at least in my case, and on a Lincoln tOWNcAR, and also kind of, I'm gonna go through an exercise with you to kind of identify where everything is. All right, let's see how it goes. Okay, so let's start with the easiest one first. We got the washer fluid here. That's what comes out on the window. Nothing new here. I need to probably use all this up. I'm actually filming this kind of towards the end of December, and it's a surprisingly nice day. The sun is out. It's like 40 degrees. It's a bit windy, but still, good lighting and not very depressing. So here in the Midwest, we do generally have a winter fluid and a summer fluid, so I gotta use this up quite quickly, because otherwise it's gonna turn into a solid block of ice. So this fluid, it's a see-through, obviously nothing fancy here. Just lift this up, see it's full. There's barely any used up, so gotta use it up. This particular one, I think it holds less than a gallon, from what I understand. So this one is nice and easy. Let's not worry about this one for now. The next fluid, and this is the one that I need to watch for, it's right here, the coolant. So if you can see right there, so the car's cold right now. I will be starting it a little bit later. So when the fluid all returns at the cold level, which my car is cold right now, it's almost full. So don't worry about that. I generally use the all-purpose, season from Wal-Mart, the antifreeze, whatever. And I only had to fill it one time. So when I first bought it, I realized it was a little low. So this is easy. Obviously, never do this when the car is warm or running, because it will shoot, which is exactly what this sticker is warning you. And yeah, you just kind of put it in there. I'm not going to be doing that right now, but I do have some extra. And when you tighten this, I think it has to make a click. There you go. So my coolant right now, considering the fact that I filled it probably, I don't know, 4 to 6 months ago, yeah, my coolant is fine. So I did have a leak right here. There's another video. It was all inside. It was barely anything was coming out, but that's what kind of flooded the spark plug, and I think the coil pack was all submerged in there. So my mechanic did switch out all the spark plugs for me and coil for cylinder number 1 right there. So he told me, watch your coolant. If you're losing coolant, if it ends up anywhere but where it's supposed to be, this is going to be trouble. So I've been looking at it. It's not leaking. So I don't know, maybe it leaked before, you know, with the previous owner, and then it stopped. Although, I don't know, maybe the dealership fixed it before they were selling it to me. I have no idea. But the bottom line is I don't see any coolant leaks here. So let's consider the fact that my car is not leaking coolant at this particular moment, at least not to my knowledge. I will move the car from this spot. It's been sitting here pretty much since the morning. So we'll see if there's any coolant on the ground. It would be interesting for me to know. All right, so that's my coolant. The next thing right up front here, power steering. So looks like there's a min and a max level. Whoops. A min and a max level right here. Let's just twist this off. Oh, there you go. Got to pull up. See, even for me, I own this car and I don't sometimes know it all. All right, well, I can definitely see it in there. I brought a little rag to kind of wipe it off so I can actually see stuff. Yeah, so there's right there. Yeah, it's in there. It's not on max, but it's definitely not low either. So this one's good also. Okay, right there. All right, next little guy right here, very important. Don't want to mess this one up. It's the brake fluid. So here you go, the brake fluid. It's right in there. There's no little catch here, so careful not to drop this thing anywhere. And yeah, look, there's the max level. Mine is right at the max. So obviously, if this thing ever runs low, you better make sure, well, you better make sure it's not leaking. I think this is referred to as the master cylinder right here, where all the you know, the brake fluid flows. Keep in mind, guys, I'm not a mechanic. I am very, very amateur. I know I embarrass myself probably more often than not with all the mechanics, and you know, people sometimes talk to me and they think they understand what I'm saying, so I'm either faking it or I really don't understand what they're saying. So that's why I love knowing mechanics, because I'll be more than happy to pay them to do the work. You guys know I go to one mechanic in particular quite often, got plenty of videos there. I got to know another Ford mechanic. He's got his own channel. So yeah, good guys to know, but I'm not on their level of understanding or comprehension. And my thing was always, I would rather pay a mechanic to do it, to do whatever, and then be happy with it, than do it myself and then be miserable through the process and especially afterwards. So then there's that. All right, so brake fluid is fine. I have not added it. It's been like this. So all right, so the next step is the engine oil, which is on these cars. I don't know why they had to stick it so far down there. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna set up this tripod that I've been holding, and I will be pulling out the dipstick and we'll see what comes out of there. I am, well, definitely see some oil. Oh my God, it's so windy. It's actually blowing it around. So I can see it. You know, let's try this again. I think it's a bad take. All right, so it's a little bit above. It's a little bit above the hole. So I got an oil change probably, I don't know, at this point about a month ago. So it's supposed to be obviously here in the little stripy zone. So I am not at the minimum level, but obviously I'm not at the maximum level either. So there is a chance I am slowly, obviously, losing oil. So this is definitely a good thing to know, because obviously if it's if it's going elsewhere, well, then the question is, where is it coming out of and where is it going? Well, chances are it's going on the ground. So, okay, so I will do this. It's interesting to see. I'll probably do this, if weather permitting, in about maybe another few weeks, couple weeks, and we'll see. Now, if it stays the same way, look, it's possible that when the last oil change, it didn't put enough oil, or didn't put all the oil in. So we'll see, but I'm definitely concerned that if this continues, at some point the engine might run out of oil, and we all know that's not good. All right, on to the next one. Okay, so for the next segment, which is actually the last portion, is the transmission fluid, which is basically same thing as the regular oil, just for your transmission lubrication. So what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to move the car from here to there, because number one, the car needs to be running to get an accurate reading of the transmission fluid, and second, I also want to check at the ground to see if there's any fresh leaks or drops. The car's been sitting here for about 6 hours, so I have a feeling, if anything is leaking, it's going to end up on the ground within the time frame. All right, so here we go. Let's check to see, are there any leaks? Is there anything? Well, that's dry. That's also dry. And keep in mind, this is not my designated spots. Where I live, we have cars, we can park wherever we want as long as we have a sticker. So I don't actually see anything that's fresh liquid on the ground. Yeah, nothing. So, which, it gives me hope. Nope, dry. Nope, dry. So, interesting to see. All right. So now to the last portion, which is the transmission fluid. All right, and that is way over here. So also not a very convenient place to put it, but it is what it is. So got my other rag. All right, now I changed my transmission fluid about 3 months ago, I think, maybe 4. And I think transmission fluid on these cars probably between 40 and 50,000 miles. I got to double check. And ideally you want to obviously measure it also when the car has been warmed up. And it's interesting to see that while, when I turned the car on, obviously the coolant went down because, the level of the coolant, because obviously some of it is being used up. I'm sure a real mechanic can explain it a lot better, but again, this is for amateurs. All right, so I'm not gonna wait 15 minutes like I think most instructions tell you. The car is running, so I'm gonna try. So here's on the first try. Look, I don't have any fluid in there. Well, that could be a problem. Let me wait a little bit and let me try it again. Alright, so I'm back from Walmart with 3 of these, and it's automatic transmission fluid. I looked in the manual and it specifically said Mercon. I don't know if it's a V or a 5. So unfortunately my local Walmart did not have like a gallon or something of this, so I ended up with 3 quarts. And I drove the car. I mean, it's been driven for about half an hour, you know, there and back, and I haven't shut it off. So all right, I'm gonna do the same measurement again and see if anything changed, and then 3 of these will go in there. Unfortunately, only this tiny little bit is on there, so I don't know where it went. Alright, so now it's kind of all over the place. Not really having a lot of luck here. Alright, let's try this again. At least now it is registering. I know it's a little smeared, but it is at least registering. So what I'll do is try to do it again tomorrow. It's super windy. The wind just picked up and the good weather kind of went out the toilet. So at least now there's something on there, which at least makes me feel better. And yeah. Alright, so when I started this video, I thought it was going to be useless and maybe it'll be interesting for just a couple of you, but it ended up serving some purpose. So I did pick up some 5W20 right there. Not going to add it just yet. And then I picked up 3 more of these. So I don't want to overdo it, because keep in mind, you know, maybe there's something I'm missing, or so I'm going to keep an eye on it. I will add these 2 if need to be, but as of right now, it looks like it's showing it's registering, so maybe it was down just a little bit. I don't know. But obviously, you know, between my footage of trying to film it underneath the car and kind of going through the motions, you know, I learned something. So this kind of proves the point that you know, it sometimes helps out, you know, to kind of get to know your car a little better. So anyway, I hope you guys liked it. I will be bringing well, not bringing, but I will be storing these here. Yes, I'm turning into one of those guys. Always carry some oil, some transmission fluid, possibly some coolant in the near future, and we will see you next time.